So Beyond Light is coming out soon, and I haven't really talked about anything. I used to be such a wise young scholar, but now I'm just kind of that disabled man that runs into PvP and screams at things.
Dude, fuck me.
Alright. So today we will be breaking down this video into 3 riveting, jaw-breaking, and earth-shattering sections. Section number 1, the sunsets. Gamers worldwide have been sent into a frenzy, as Bungie has let everyone know that you actually won't be able to use the same gun forever. The most livid of them all is this guy who has been eating mac and cheese alone for the last 17 years. But for a PvP guy like me, I think sunsetting is an overall plus. Instead of having to nerf meta weapons to make them bad, they just sunset them so that they aren't usable in the things that old people care about, like Trials, Iron Banner, and Social Security. Personally, I don't even play Trials, so I really don't care at all. It definitely sucks if you play Trials all the time, but if that's the case, I think it's safe to assume that life just kind of sucks for you in general. Sunsetting is just a softer and more gradual way of what they did with their original DLC model anyways. With the transition to seasonal content, weapons are released more gradually instead of all in bulk. So naturally, the way of restricting these weapons from staying at maximum power level is also going to become gradual as well.
Same, but different. But still same.
Remember how when Taken King came out and you couldn't use Last Word or Thorn in Trials? For one, they just murdered the weapons and made them shoot Cinnabon Delights from Taco Bell, but they also couldn't be max light level. It's the same exact thing. And at the time, this was especially heartbreaking for a little slimy rat bastard Last Word user such as myself. I literally just gave him the schlang. So in closing, sunsetting may be upsetting for some people, but it's essentially just a different version of what they've already been doing for like 6 years. Personally, I'm a little bit more concerned about being frozen, dabbed on, and then L-danced by some stupid little 11-year-old kid in Beyond Light. Section number 2, the hand cannons. I think the only people that have been through more troubles than hand cannons in the last 6 years are the American people. Not because of the politics, but because Pizza Hut closed down 300 of their locations, including my local Pizza Hut. So anyways, 150s, which are the most dominant hand cannon archetype, are all being turned into 140s, which is essentially nerfing them. At least all of them, besides the Sunshot, which will still be a 150, which is kind of cool in my opinion. But to compensate for this, all 140s will be receiving a range buff, and I think that there should be a cool dynamic, but you know, some cool interaction between all the hand cannons, because you got the Ace of Spades, which has crazy range and goes absolutely buck wild crazy if you could perfect the hidden technique Momentous, where you have to successfully kill a guy and then hit the reload button on your keyboard. You have Thorn that's going to be able to 2-head 1 body regardless of resilience, and then Austringer, which is going to be sunset, but you can still get crazy perks on it and use it in normal PvP. On top of that, I'm also assuming that with Beyond Light, they're going to be adding some other sort of good 140 RPM legendary. And in addition to that, they're bringing back Hawkmoon, which we have no clue how it will work. However, personal theory here, I'm just gonna go out on a whim and say that when you get a kill, they're gonna find some way to make it so that after you get that kill, there's going to be a way to do bonus damage. Don't ask me where I come up with these things, but it's just a bit of a theory that I've drawn up lately. So going back to Sunshot, I think that the decision to keep it as a 150 is amazing. Sunshot has always been a bit of a unique weapon, so now it's kind of gonna be truly in its own space, similar to how Last Word was kind of just always its own thing. So the success of all of these hand cannon changes is really gonna fall on the rest of the weapons. Auto rifles are getting nerfed, which will help hand cannons a lot, but their place in the meta moving forward remains to be seen, because we don't know how the range buff is gonna feel. We don't know if different mods are being added or which mods are being added and how they will change everything. But it's not the end of the world like some people are making it out to be. It is a bit suck, but also could be good. Section number 3, Trials of Osiris. Woo! Esports! So they are going to be reworking Trials, and we will be getting an all new set of weapons. Okay, so I just fact checked it. No new armor, but hey, maybe someday, maybe, you know, at some point, maybe. It's not being added yet, but they said that once the stardust settles from Beyond Light, we will be getting a new armor set as well. And I've been talking with some Bungie employees, getting some good leaks going, finding some cracks in the armor, and I actually have some early release hidden footage that's actually never been seen of the new Trials of Osiris 2.0 armor. It's brand new and it looks amazing. Take a look. Did this. I think we already recycled this one.
Open the reef
fuck.
to the Guardians.
Gonna have to make new armor. So to get people to play more often than they do currently, like me, who's played Trials around like 3 times, they're adding Adept weapons, which are going to have special Adept mods for them. And to get an Adept weapon, you have to go flawless. You can't just get it from 3, 5, or 7 wins, or whatever the different thresholds are. You need to go flawless. And then these weapons will be on rotation, so I think it's gonna take a total of 11 weeks for you to get the exact Adept role you want. And on top of that, if there's some really good weapon that is the Adept weapon that week, normally if a weapon shows up anywhere on the card, there was a big thing about just farming like 3 wins to get infinite rolls on the shotgun, but you can't do that because you have to actually go flawless now. The other side of that coin though is that there's even more incentive to cheat if you actually have to go flawless for these weapons. And Bungie is actually suing Perfect Aim, which is the biggest distributor of Destiny cheats, and all of the stupid fat overweight virgins on their forums are incredibly upset. It's indeed sad that Bungie had to directly come to the side that helped many people to improve in the game. Even I enjoyed the cheat and was getting better in the game.
You're smoking crack. Stop.
Like, how delusional do you have to be to think that you cheating is you getting better at the game? It's like Barry Bonds, who turns like 34 years old and starts getting juiced up on steroids, and he goes, oh, I'm just getting better at the game now. But suing them isn't the same as developing an effective anti-cheat, so I'm sure that cheating will be a big problem moving forward. But if you get the new consoles, like a PS4 or an Xbox One X Series X Model X, you actually aren't gonna have to deal with cheating. You're just gonna have to deal with your internet being taken offline for a long period of time. Even if we can't get new weapons and armor right now, it's at least good that they're adding Adept versions, so there's at least some new reason to play Trials. But I don't think we will see Trials fully flourishing until A, the cheaters have been taken care of by majority, B, the armor and weapons are completely revamped, because we've just gotten copy pasted weapons from Destiny 1. Even if the stat values are different, stuff has got to look appetizing, it's got to look different, it's got to look unique. But at this point, it's like, I've already gotten this armor 5 years ago and I didn't even think it looked that good back then, so why would I need it now? Section 4, I lied. There's 4 sections, guys. You all just got pranked. So I see a lot of people that take PvP very seriously being a bit concerned or upset about the new subclasses coming out. Personally, I think it's time to abandon the whole taking Destiny 2 serious angle, because what's going to happen if you do that is you're going to be let down again and again and again and again. And that was the biggest source of my anger in Destiny 1, which led to a bad relationship between me and Bungie. And the reason I say this is because that philosophy is the antithesis of Bungie's philosophy. So there's not much overlap between that, where you can suggest something and you can reasonably believe that it may actually make it into the game, because everything you're going to propose or think of is not going to ever become reality. So what is the best thing you can do? The best thing you can do is what I've done, and stop taking it seriously and just have fun with how the game works. You can still play competitively. I think that competing is amazing, and it's one of the best ways you can spice up any sort of activity. But my advice is that you will be at peace if you stop taking it like it's an esport. These abilities look incredibly fun. They're probably going to make for a lot of stupid yet funny moments, and I can't wait to play them. I think that goofy, overpowered, and weird things are what make Destiny Destiny. And if you want to play a game that is ultra serious and competitive, Destiny Destiny, like over the past 6 years, has shaped up to just not be the game for you. I'm sure a few DualShocks will be shattered in the process, but it's just growing pains. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. This video is much different compared to my other content because normally it's live commentaries with no sort of rhyme or reason to them, but I wanted to make this video because surprisingly, with the type of videos I make, people have actually been asking me what my opinions on these things are. So I wanted to make a video like this to kind of just give everyone my perspective. I think that some of these changes could be viewed as bad, but we don't really know until we actually play with them. It's just like the old saying says, there's no use crying over spilt milk because it will most likely get you blacklisted from the next Bungie. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click on the like button. Supporting videos like these that are much different from my usual content always helps. And if you don't want to miss a video moving forward, you can click on the bell to enable post notifications, and hopefully I'll catch you in my next video. Peace.